Started. Okay, so first let me just go back over those housekeeping rules, our general information. We will be recording tonight, and please use the Q&A feature to submit your questions, and we promise we will get to all of your questions either by messaging you back inside the Q&A or by answering live. And feel free to ask follow-up questions. So here's our website, is the Department of Learning Technologies, and you can go here to find out about all of the programs that we have. And I'd like to introduce to you Dr. Yunjo An. She's the chair of the department, and she's going to start the presentation tonight. So thank you very much. Dr. An, please start.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Yunjo An. I'm a professor and chair of the Learning Technology Department. Next slide, please. My research interests include digital game-based learning, gamification of learning, constructionist gaming or game design by students, and using technology for learner-centered instruction or for creating learner-centered environments. Also, I'm interested in online learning and blended learning and others as well. We have amazing faculty in our department. Our faculty members are super smart, very productive and caring, and they're amazing. And they have expertise in various areas, including instructional design, technology integration in K-12 schools, and professional development for teachers, blended or online learning, VR, AR, and MR, AI, game-based learning, and many others. So you can see that learning technologies can be applied and used in many various contexts. We have very interesting research centers and labs, including TSET, Texas Center for Education and Technology, Institute for the Integration of Technology into Teaching and Learning, and Surge XR Lab, led by several faculty members. And we have several scholarships and awards. They include Dr. Greg Jones Memorial Endowed Award, Dr. Roger, I don't know how to pronounce Disenberger Scholarship, Melvin Moffitt Scholarship, and Kathleen White Scholarship. And we recently started providing 3-year award for our new doctoral students. So we have multiple opportunities for our students. That's it. So feel free to contact me and our program directors if you have any other questions. Thank you.
So, thank you, Dr. An. And now I'd like to introduce Dr. Regina Kaplan-Rakowski. She's going to take over from here because she's the current program director for the Master of Science in Learning Technologies.
That's right. Welcome to our webinar. And as Lisa mentioned, my name is Regina Kaplan-Rakowski, and I'm an assistant professor of learning technologies. I'm also the director of Master of Science program in learning technologies. My main research interests are at the intersection of 3 areas: immersive learning environments, such as virtual reality, mixed reality, augmented reality. I'm also interested in studying emotional responses to learning technologies, as well as computer-assisted language learning. Here are some examples of what my research looks like. Next slide, please. Slide. Thank you. As far as our program goes, we have several modes with which you can study. One of the modes is 100% online. So basically you take all the classes online. However, we are introducing a new format. In addition to our online format, it will be a format in the in-person mode, which includes a lot of, about half of the classes that would be face-to-face and about another half that would be online. Now, we have, until recently, we had 7 tracks, but as of now, we are collapsing some of them. So in fact, we have fewer. At the same time, we keep the same quality. So some of the tracks include instructional design and technology. That's the collapsed 3 first tracks on the list. Another track is artificial intelligence, We also cater for students that want to learn how to teach and learn with technology. And also we have 2 tracks that are more corporate oriented, which is course leadership and development and project management in workforce performance. We have a plethora of very interesting courses, but I'll give you a couple of samples. For example, computer graphics for mediating communications. It's a course more or less where students, based on the foundations they learn about graphic design, they design their own representations of different folders, for example, other graphical outcomes. We also have a web authoring course, which basically helps students learn how to design well-designed websites, instructional websites. We have a course that is Introduction to Video Technology. And I know one person on the panel that rocked that class. That's until now, I remember Paula's project. And that's where students learn from scratch how to make instructional videos. We also have a course where you learn from scratch how to design a course, like a Canvas course from A to Z. This class is called Technology-Based Learning Environments. And we also have many classes that deal with multimedia, including the multimedia in technology applications. Several other course examples include new learning technologies. So basically, we learn about the cutting edge technologies such as mixed reality, AI, virtual reality, and others. We also have a course that teaches you the foundation, absolute foundation of online learning, online design and pedagogy. We also have AI classes that go along the AI track that I mentioned before. And also our students, many of our students actually learn how to be instructional designers and that want to, actually a lot of our students, they are maybe current teachers, but they want to go into instructional design. So some of the classes that we have offer that transition or addition, an extra door, let's say. And we also have a class that deals with analysis of research, that's where students learn how to evaluate different research papers and act as reviewers, let's say. And the whole coursework ends with a course called Capstone, Integrated Portfolios. This is where students put all their projects together in a portfolio that is coupled with a very professionally written CV, and they are ready to go. You can go to the next slide. These are examples of some of the technologies we study. Thank you. And some of the highlights of our program include that there's no GRE. So you actually do not have to take GRE to apply to our program. And there is no thesis. As I just mentioned a moment ago, that we base the evaluation of how well our students do in the program by using their portfolio. So the portfolio is like their exit exam, or instead of a thesis. It's much more practical than a thesis. We also have accelerated options. So some of the courses, like if you think about this, a lot of our courses are 16-week courses, a standard way is 16 courses. But we have about half of our courses that are crammed, that collapse into half of that, which is 8-week courses. We call them accelerated courses. They allow those of you that want to graduate in a fast way, those of you that are motivated, right on task, to graduate earlier. And our courses are flexible and asynchronous. What I mean by that is that it's up to you when you want to do your assignments. I mean, of course, we have some deadlines and everything, but if you have a module that is a 1-week module, if you submit something on Monday or on Sunday of the same week, it's up to you. It's not, you are not obliged to, for example, go to classes that are synchronous. Some students, some courses will have that option, but most of the time you can be flexible and choose when you want to study. Thank you so much. And here we have our phenomenal graduate, Paula Phillips.
Oh, thank you. I am very happy to be invited to share my experience with y'all. It has been a really, really good experience for me. I just happened to graduate when the pandemic was just starting, so it was definitely my skills were very, very valuable, and I mean, the program is very doable. Like, I am a mom of 2 kids, worked a full-time job, and I still managed to finish in 18 months. So that was good. It worked. The flexibility of the program allowed me to be able to manage my work life and also my school life in a way that worked for me and for my family. So I definitely had a good experience. I enjoyed building my portfolio. This is my portfolio. So as we complete the classes, we keep adding our work to our portfolio, which is actually like a live resume in a way. So I do have some samples on my portfolio that include like all the classes that I've taken. I took the learning and technology path, but I just, as I'm always looking at, oh, what else could I do if I ever get bored with public school? And I looked at the different job requirements for other careers, and it's like, this is a very transferable skill. Like, having the experience in learning technologies and instructional design, it's not only applicable to K-12 education. There's corporations that are looking for instructional designers with the same degree and level of expertise that I have as a public school teacher. So I'm like, okay, I'm not stuck with being a public school teacher. And but different classes that I learned is instructional design, which actually helped me how to understand how to create learning experiences for different levels, for adults, for my colleagues, for my students. I created multimedia projects. I was able to create videos and add interactive elements to my lessons to be able to differentiate for my students. So and I try to keep my resume up to date, just so I can, if I ever leave education, I can go to a different career. But I think also that at least in my portfolio, I have a variety of samples that show also the growth, because we don't all start like, oh, with everything perfect, but it also helps the getting the feedback to get better at what you do. So that is.
And Paula, I'm so glad you just said that, because I heard another one of our alumni who said, your resume is a promise, but your portfolio is your proof. So just like you said, if you decide to apply for another job, of course, you'll tell them the great things you've done, but then you can actually show them through your portfolio. That was her point. So,
Yes.
okay. And she graduated from our program in 2020 as well. I don't know if you knew Tisha. Did you have classes with Tisha?
Possibly.
Possibly. Okay. All right. And let's go to the next slide. Okay. And so Dr. Kaplan-Rakowski, do you want to take it back and talk about our graduate academic certificate?
I'll be glad to do that. So, as I mentioned before, I was talking before about the whole Masters of Science program. That program technically consists of 12 courses. What we did recently, we created something called Graduate Academic Certificate, which instead of having 12 courses, it's 4. So it's one third of the whole Master of Science program. And the idea is that students come, maybe they are not ready for the whole master's program, or maybe they are not sure yet. They do not want to necessarily commit for the whole program. They can just take 4 courses, and by taking 4 courses, they can obtain the Graduate Academic Certificate in Instructional Design and Technology. The way it's gonna work is that you can just take those 4 courses, get that certificate, and say goodbye. Or when you get, I liked it so much, I want another certificate, then we will be soon offering another certificate, and then yet another, the sum of 3, where when you stack them all together, one by one, the 3 of them, then you get your master's degree. it's a great solution for those of you who maybe do not want to commit yet. So that's more or less it about the.
Great, thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, Paula, and thank you, Dr. Kaplan-Rakowski. And now it's time to shift gears and talk about the doctoral program. So I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Warren. Please take it away.
Hey there, everybody. So I'm, in addition to the program director, I'm a faculty member in the department. I don't have a slide on my stuff, but I've historically done educational gaming, and most recently I've transitioned more into business operations and how do we organize schools and other educational institutions to improve training. So that's where I'm at today. But to talk about the doctoral program itself, it is a cohort-based model. So when you come in, you will be with a group of students that you will stay with throughout the program. So whether you're now in the residential or in the distributed program, is what we call the online, you will have classes each semester with a common group of students that you will get to know throughout your career who can support you. And so in addition to that, you have what we call an associate graduate faculty member who acts as your mentor throughout the program. So you will be meeting with them monthly. So you have the support, both a group of students that you are with throughout your entire doctoral program, as well as with very skilled, knowledgeable graduate faculty member who has a doctorate and has been through this, knows what you're going through, and can support you monthly throughout the whole program. This is a 60 to 69 hour program. I know that Dr. Ahn and I went to Indiana University where it was a 90-hour program. So this is a lot less than many other universities. And the big benefit to doing this program is that it helps you prepare yourself for a new career, especially in research. That is the focus of this degree. And so if you're looking to decide between a master's and a PhD, the master's is much more practice oriented. So if you're looking to be able to do more things with technology, more skills and knowledge, that's the master's. If you are interested in learning how to conduct research on those tools and on those skills and on those things that you build, that is going to be the doctorate. And so I wanted to just bright line clearly describe the differences between those two, because sometimes that's confusing. One of the other benefits that we recently learned about, I actually learned about from one of our graduates from last semester, is that UNT is now offering the ability to do a second residential PhD. So if you're in the Denton area, you can do your learning technologies PhD and then maybe go get a business degree or an engineering degree or something else in as little as 39 hours. So that's a benefit. And I can also say I did that. So I actually have a PhD in instructional systems like Dr. Ahn, and then I also have a PhD in logistics and operations management from our business school. And it has been extremely beneficial to me to have both of those. So it's something definitely to consider. Now, one other thing that everybody talks about with the PhD is the dissertation. This is the dreaded end stage of the doctorate. It's legendary in television and film. One of the things that we do to try to help make this a lot less scary is Dr. Ahn and I actually got to go through qualifying examinations at Indiana University, which was kind of painful. We had, 2.5 weeks to answer 3 questions, where effectively we had to write 3 articles in that time period. And it was quite a brutal experience to go through. And a lot of people failed that whole process. Our goal here with our department is to have you be successful. So instead of having those qualifying exams, we have a portfolio similar to with the master's, except that in this instance, you're showing research that you've completed and maybe published, presentations that you've done publicly at national, international, and local conferences, and technology-based works that you've produced during the program. So it's much more of a show what you know rather than a high stakes sort of experience as you complete your coursework. The other big benefit that we have compared to some other programs is you have 2 different options for completing your dissertation. One is the traditional dissertation, and I have done both. The 5-chapter traditional dissertation, where you have the introduction, your literature review, methods, your findings, and your conclusions. We also have something that's called manuscript style. So as you are producing work for your portfolio throughout the program, you can be working on publishing with your faculty members. And those publications, as long as they're aligned thematically, can go into your dissertation. So you don't then have to do something separate at the end. And so you would include 3 pieces. And that's what I did for my business dissertation. And I don't know which is better. I had a good experience with both, but it does give you some flexibility and options in this space that are different than what you might find in other programs. Ready for that? There. Now, we also have 2 delivery mode options. We have a residential face-to-face program. This is your traditional format, flexible electives, on campus, but a lot of the courses are also hybrid. So in a lot of classes, you might have 7 or 8 face-to-face meetings and the remainder will be online through Zoom or some other system. I've taught through Second Life and other sorts of 2.5D VR and more experiential, immersive sorts of experiences. So it's not just all face-to-face. A lot of the time you also get some of the online experience because we are a learning technologies program. We want you to have some of both. It is 9 hours per semester, so that is full-time, the residential program is, and it takes about 3 to 4 years to complete. There is also a minor option. I actually had a student graduate today who minored in business, and it is an option if that may help you with your career. We also have the distributed. So a lot of people will call it the online. It is actually a distributed program where if you are online, yes, all of your courses will be taught online. However, there is also a face-to-face meeting once a year to meet the state residency requirement. You get to know people close up, face-to-face. You get to experience your faculty during that time period, and that will be in September. In the distributed, you take 6 hours instead of 9. And so that is one other difference between the 2. And so it does take a little bit longer. It is planned and structured. You have fewer options on your electives. And so it takes 4 to 5 years to get through the whole dissertation. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just real quick, I'm going to stop you for a question because it's related to what you're talking about right now. So
Yes.
Cassandra is asking for the PhD program, how many hours are taken that are not related to your dissertation?
12 hours of the 60 are dissertation. The rest are courses. So
Okay.
4 classes are the dissertation. That's minimum. And I want to stress that is the minimum number of dissertation hours if you go at light speed. Most people, it's 15, 18, 21 hours, depending on if other things come up, challenges happen. It's the minimum is 12 hours for dissertation.
Okay, thank you for your answer. I hope that answered your question, Cassandra. Feel free to write back in the chat if it didn't.
So what do you get? And this is always the argument that whenever you're buying something that we have to make. And what do you get from us is you have a large and highly distinguished faculty. We have every different person has a different set of knowledge and skills. Some of it interrelates. We have various folks, Dr. Ahn, Dr. Kaplan-Rakowski, both have some background in things like gaming and virtual reality and emerging technologies. And so you can easily put together a committee that has a diverse set of skills that can complement what you want to study. So you're not necessarily pinned down to just a few topic areas that you want to study. You have enough faculty members that can support you that you can do a lot of different types of dissertations. I had a student today do her dissertation related to training for military transitions into civilian life as a systems theory sort of dissertation. And then a few weeks ago, I had another student who did her dissertation related to learning management systems in citywide organizations and how do we make decisions about adopting those things and what is it that business folks think about when they're doing this. And then last semester, I had somebody who did theirs related to environmental consequences of educational technology. Another one did it related to gaming. We have a lot of different diverse students and diverse interests with the faculty. So you can usually find something that you want to do. Again, those unique PhD mentors, they're going to give you monthly meetings that really provide emotional support. We talk to them all the time. They make sure that you are on a good path, and they ensure that you get the support that you need from the department to get through. That face-to-face meeting that we hold in September, that makes sure that you have that annual contact with folks and helps strengthen those relationships that you're going to have with everybody in the program. And then in terms of skills, you can learn quantitative and descriptive data analysis, what we call qualitative research. And you're learning this from experts. And a lot of this today, if you're going to work in research, you need to have a strong background in both qualitative and quantitative research, surveys, interviews, but also statistical analysis to make sure that products are working. This is what folks out in industry are looking for today to help their companies do better. And then also we have the traditional academic pathways where you can become faculty and do what we do. Another big strength here is because we have tools-based courses that relate to emerging technologies. You can gain research skills about those. How do we study them? How do we make sure artificial intelligence is actually working the way we intend? How do we know that virtual reality is actually helping people the way that we want it to? And how can we improve these tools to make things better? And another big thing that a lot of employers are looking for today is strong writing skills. And that is a big focus of this program, is making sure that you can communicate very clearly with your audience in a way that simplifies it so they can act on the information you provide. I'm going to just stop and there is a question. So admissions interview. No, we don't have one unless you request it. So if you have questions or anything like that, we can definitely do some sort of an interview or some sort of discussion with you in terms of your application. That is really dependent on the person who's applying. So back to the program highlights. As Dr. Ahn mentioned at the beginning, we have a very distinguished faculty who have been researching. We have folks who've been researching for more than 40 years. They have National Science Foundation grants, National Institutes of Health grants, NASA grants, and they are doing cutting edge research in all of these spaces. So they help you network with other people that are doing this, that helps towards finding jobs for you when you get done with all of this. We also have a lot of collaborations with the other companies out in the United States, China, India. We work with large learning management companies like Moodle, iDesign for instructional design, NetDragon in China. So we have all of these potential partnerships that provide you with opportunities to do applied research that helps build your career later on. And then in terms of the courses, we use innovative technologies wherever we possibly can to deliver these courses. We try to use virtual reality whenever possible. We, of course, use Zoom as a common tool, but we're constantly trying to challenge ourselves to deliver these courses in new ways that show how learning technologies can be useful and valuable and new. And we also try to make sure that based on what you tell us, we can improve those courses each semester. Every time we teach it, we're revising those to meet your needs. We also have a lot of digital resources offered by the university, tools for doing data analysis like SPSS and Vivo. All of these things are offered by the university and supported in a way that makes sure that you get the education that you're coming here for. Some of the job prospects, I'm just going to mention a couple. A lot of folks have gone into K-12 leadership, a lot of people into assistant, associate, superintendent roles. The superintendent here at Denton ISD actually minored in learning technologies and was the associate superintendent of technology once upon a time here before he was elevated. So that is definitely, if you're in the K-12 space, a path of advancement. That was actually what I was originally going to do once upon a time because I was a K-12 teacher back in the day. Higher education faculty, we have a large number of students that have been placed over the last 25 years into faculty positions. So that is definitely an option. We also have a very large number of folks who move up in leadership in business training and development positions. The woman that graduated today actually during the program has advanced into many leadership roles at Wells Fargo Bank. So it's not just tech. There's a lot of opportunities in different companies. Instructional design, we have a very large number of people that go into advanced positions in instructional design as a result of the program. Educational gaming, AI, VR, all of these things are possible opportunities and pathways for you. So this was written by someone else and I modified it a little bit. Technologies change. They change what people do, what they can do, and what they want to do. It is not about the tool. It is about whether and how a technology, system, or process improvement can support human development. That is what we are about in learning technologies, is helping people perform better, learn better, teach better, be successful as human beings. And that is the focus of our doctorate as well.
So thank you, Dr. Warren. I actually didn't really understand that quotation before when it was on the slide until just now that you explained it the way you explained it. I mean, I understood the words, but I didn't get the full meaning till now. So thank you so much. So I'm going to take over here, Dr. Warren, just to talk a little bit about Tatiana. I'm sure you knew Tatiana, and I know that probably all three of you knew Tatiana when she was in the program. She has a great career now at I can't remember the name of the company off the top of my head, but at a VR company. And she gave us a testimonial. She said it was a great experience being a PhD student in learning technologies. She said the incredibly supportive professors built long-lasting connections and friendships and managed to advance her career by diving deeply into the field of VR technologies. And she said also the program gives great opportunities to seek professional advancement in both education and industry, like what you were saying before, Dr. Warren. And she just graduated in 2022. And I just did a highlight with her. She's going to come out in our Year in Review magazine, and she's doing amazing stuff, not just at her job, but in lots of things. So you'll get to read that in the Year in Review, the panelists will. And if the participants join our program, they will be students in the college, and they'll also get a link to the Year in Review. So let me go to the next slide. I see Paola thinking. She's thinking about this PhD, I think. Okay, so now let's talk about the nitty gritty. You've heard from Dr. Kaplan-Rakowski and Dr. Warren about the programs. Are you ready to apply? Because if you're ready to apply, we do have a process. And here I have to move some stuff out of my way so I can see the whole slide. Yes, so this is the PhD admissions process. We have a two-step process. Step one, you have to apply to UNT's Toulouse Graduate School. And so that's the link that you use, the goapplytexas.org. You'll choose this program. You have to pay a $75 application fee. Unfortunately, there's no way around that. And then you submit your official transcripts of your records from each college or university that you've attended. Now, if you went to UNT, you don't need to submit the transcripts because they will be able to get them. So your transcripts are available. But if you went to any other school besides UNT, in addition to UNT, you have to submit those transcripts. If you're an international student, you also need to have a satisfactory score on the TOEFL, or you can also, we do have an English language school on campus. And if you can't pass the TOEFL, because I know it's not an easy test, you can always finish level 6 at that school. And you do need a minimum GPA of 3.5. And once you've been processed by the graduate school, you'll get an email that gives you information about how to start step 2. And you can start working on step 2 while you're waiting for step 1, because you can see here that you have to do a personal statement, for example, and you need to submit a resume and a writing sample in English, which is a 2 to 3 page essay on a practice, research, or theory topic relevant to you. And you have to get 3 letters of recommendation. So you can start working on that even while you're waiting for Toulouse to send you your I guess your user ID and login and things like that to get into your MyUNT account. Here's some more information about the GRE. They do require the GRE for this program, but there is an automatic waiver for if you're graduating from the LT Masters in the last 3 years. There's an automatic waiver if you graduate with any UNT Masters in the last 3 years with a GPA of 3.5 or above. And upon program review, a waiver for students graduating from an equivalent program in the last 3 years with the 3.5. So apparently that is something that is case by case. Also, after you have made it past step 1, you're going to fill out a preferred advisor form, and you will submit all of those documents to the lt-phd@unt email. I see we had a question in the, maybe it was removed. I thought I had seen a question. Okay, so if you do have a question as I'm going over the admissions process, just put them in the Q&A and we'll get to them. If you have more questions about, let's say we finish tonight and then you're working on this and you think, oh, wait, I should have asked this question in the webinar. Here are some emails you can use. If you have a question for the grad school about step 1, you can contact Toulouse Grad School at that email. If you have a question for the PhD program at the Learning Technology Department, there's an email. And international students, you'll want to contact the international department because you do have to apply through the international department. I see another question in there now. So Shay is asking, Dr. An, you referenced an RA scholarship, and she's asking, are most scholarships only available for residential students?
I believe so, but I'm not 100% sure. So I will check with our scholarship committee, and I will get to you via email if you send me. How can I mean, communicate?
Do you want to
that?
drop your email in the chat for her?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so Shay, Dr. An will put her email in the chat. Oh, and there's also Shay's email if you want to grab that down, Dr. An, and then you can check on that and answer later.
I will email you, Shay.
Okay,
Actually,
and then we
I'm
yeah.
on the committee. I'm on one of the committees that deal with these type of things. So we do have both residential and distributed students that are eligible for most of these. So.
Yes,
Oh,
and I was
that's-
sure my GA that is on the 3-year is actually in Houston and is in the distributed program.
Okay, I think that answers the question. So thank you. You have experience with that. So you know that Shay, it sounds like that it doesn't matter whether you're on the distributed or residential. And I think that's good news. So Shay must be doing the distributed program. Okay, let me go ahead and remove some of these so that we can easily process. Okay, Kelly has a question. Do current LTech master students still have to do the personal statement, writing sample, and references? So you mean you're going directly from LTech master's degree into the PhD, Kelly, I guess? So if they're already in the master's program and they're planning to apply directly to the PhD program, Dr. Warren?
Yes, you still need to fill those out. We have to have something to evaluate you on to determine whether or not to admit you to the program. Part of what we're looking for is to make sure that there's a fit between you and potential major professors and associate graduate faculty members, and that you can be successful. So we have to have enough information to determine that. The GRE, by not making you do the GRE if you have graduated from the program recently, we trust you because we have just had a recent relationship with you, but what you do in the master's is different than what you would potentially do in the PhD. So we need enough information to see if you'll be successful.
So actually, if you think about it, they still do kind of the easier part where they're showing who they are, and they get to remove the hard part, which is taking the GRE.
Yes, exactly.
I took the GRE as an undergrad my senior year. I figured that was the best math I was ever going to do, and it certainly was. So, okay, so Kelly got her answer, great. And then Julie says she started the LT Master's program in fall of 2022, and she would like to transfer to the PhD program. She said she took the GRE and sent the scores to UNT. What other parts of the application process does she need to complete? It sounds like she still needs to do, go ahead, not answer, Dr. Warren.
So you still need to apply through the graduate school and gain admissions there for the PhD. And then you'll need to submit the other paperwork, the letter of intent, your AGF form, those kinds of things need to be submitted to the department. Right now, you still need to email them. We are working on a process, so you'll be able to upload them fairly soon.
I think maybe Caroline tells me that's been enacted, no?
I know it has been for the bachelor's and the master's.
Oh, the PhD. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You're
but
talking
she
about
is
the
working
PhD.
on the PhD. So for the moment, you'll still need to email those, but if that changes, we'll change that information on the website to let you know.
All right, and then let me go ahead and move on to master's information. It sounds like we've got a lot of students interested in the doctoral program here. Let's see if we've got anyone who needs to hear about how to apply to the master's then. Whoops. 1 second. Okay, so if you want to apply to the Masters of Learning Technologies, it's also a two-step process. First, you have to go to Go Apply Texas and choose the degree plan. And you at that time, they ask for you to say if you're doing the accelerated online program or not. I believe you still have access to some of the accelerated classes though, right? Even if they're doing the traditional program. Okay, all right, and then you'll pay the $75 application fee. You'll provide your transcripts unless you're an undergrad at UNT and you haven't attended any other college or university, or UNT already has those transcripts. And if you are an international applicant, you also need to prove English proficiency, and you need a minimum 3.0 GPA. And then to apply, after you've gotten your information from Toulouse and you're ready to start part 2, again, you can start on these actions, but once you have your login and you can create your password, then you can go to the my.unt.edu portal and you'll activate your AUID with the PIN number, click on admission status, and then you can upload your resume or CV, your personal statement, and your personal statement should state your educational and professional goals. And then you need to have at least 2 references. And there's a form there for you to provide to your references. And then you can actually go to the MyUNT portal to check the status of your admission once you've done all that. So rather than sitting around wondering, waiting, or contacting directly the department, you can check the status there. So those are some updates, and hopefully also the PhD program will have that option soon, like you were saying, Dr. Warren. Okay, and if you have questions, again, there's the Toulouse admissions email, there's the LTMS email, and those are usually, oh, that's the advising. So we have advisors, a whole staff of advisors that can help you. And then the admissions program questions will go to this other email where you'll be answered by one of our staff, Caroline. And international students, you also need to contact the international office to ask questions about how to do your application, because you do have to apply through the international, through UNT International. And we do have some, well, Toulouse Graduate School has some priority deadlines. So domestic students, if you're planning to join us for the summer, you have until April 15th to do the step 1. And then you can correct me if I'm wrong, but what I've always heard is that for the master's program, you do rolling admissions, and up to maybe even 3 weeks to a month before you start classes, they can still be accepted, right? Now for the PhD, it's different, right? Dr. Warren, what's the deadline for the PhD? And you don't accept for summer, only fall, right?
No, it's only a fall start, and March 10th is the deadline for the department that's coming up. So it's
Tomorrow's March 1st.
So it's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, so the PhD program only does intake in the fall because it's a cohort, and you start with your cohort. And so if you're interested in applying to the PhD program and you have not done so yet, you've got about 10 days to get that done. And does all their paperwork have to be in by that March 10th?
That's what's supposed to happen. We can probably talk about it if there are any major challenges.
Okay, as long as they've gotten started on the process through the grad school and have.
Just be in communication with the department, with Caroline in particular, and she can keep me apprised and the department apprised, and we can deal with what needs to be dealt with.
Okay, sounds fair. And then if you're an international student, for the master's program, you at this point, it's too late to start for summer. You'll have to apply for fall, because it just takes a long time to get everything settled through the international admissions process. So April 15th is your deadline for applying for the fall. Also, you have to get your visa and get here. So, if I assume, well, if you're international, you're definitely coming to take the classes. So, and you'll be doing the in-person program. I see we have a question in the chat. Let me take a look real quick. Oh, it's a thank you. That's nice. You're welcome. Okay. Any questions on the deadlines to apply or the admissions process? If not, I'll go to this last slide. And this last slide is talking about some, frequently asked questions. So for example, you get 5 years to complete a master's in the College of Information. Actually, all of the colleges at UNT, it's fine if you want to take 5 years, but you do need to finish within 5 years. Most people finish in 2, but not everybody. Some people do 3, some people do 4, and some people do 5. Okay, and then if you want to look at the course, Dr. Kaplan-Arkowski told us about a lot of the courses they have. If you want to really read a description about each course, you can find them all in the academic catalog. And if you need help finding those courses, I'd be happy to tell you. It's LTEC is the prefix that you would use to search for all the LTEC courses. And part-time enrollment is 3 to 6 credit hours, which is fine if that works best for you, or you can do 9 credit hours, which is full-time enrollment. And don't forget, if you're an international student, you want to contact UNT International Office for questions regarding visa requirements. Tuition fee information can be found through the UNT Student Financial Services Office. There's a really great tuition calculator, where you can put in, it depends on where you're coming from, where you live, your situation, how many credits you're going to take, whether you're doing the master's or the PhD. So it's very difficult for us to say it's going to be this much. So if you go there, you'll find a tuition calculator where you can plug in all your specifics, and it'll give you a per semester estimate. And they're pretty good. They include the fees and all that. And then I wanted to tell you one more thing, and then I'll get back to the Q&A. We have a lot of resources at the college level to support current students. And one of them is a mentoring program, which is run at the college level, where you get connected to an alum. And I'm going to bother Paula to join that program soon. Just joking, Paula. Maybe joking. Maybe not joking. Okay. And then that's the program that we run at the college level. But as you've heard, for the PhD students, you also get a mentor in the PhD program, which is kind of your PhD mentor. And then we have a career center, which helps you with, we have a coach, our own designated career coach. She's actually down in the Learning Technologies department, and she'll meet with you to help you with your resume, help you with a LinkedIn page, which of course your professors will also help you with that kind of stuff. But if you need more help, you can go to her and she'll help you find, where do I go to look for jobs and things like that. We have a student money management center on UNT campus, a health and wellness center, counseling and testing services, learning center. All of those are provided by UNT and the Dean of Students. Those are resources for students who need help with health. Maybe you need help with counseling. You can have free counseling at UNT when you're a student. Maybe you need help with something related to learning. You want a tutor, or you want to have someone check over your writing or your APA style or something like that. They'll help you there. And then, of course, Dr. Ahn already mentioned the department level scholarships, which not a lot of departments at UNT offer scholarships, and the Learning Technologies department has a lot for you to apply for. And then in addition to that, we have a college level scholarship, so College of Information students, and you're welcome to apply for that. That's the UNT College of Information Foundation Scholarship, and it opens every fall. And then Toulouse Grad School has some scholarships you can apply for as well. So I think that might be the last slide. Yes, let me get to the Q&A and see what we have here. Okay. Himanth says, and sorry if I've mispronounced your name. Himanth says, hello, I recently changed my course from MIS, Masters of Information Science, to Masters of Learning Technologies. But it's not reflected in the My UNT portal. That is probably a question for admissions, maybe? Like maybe even the grad school? Any ideas?
I've just typed the email for the advisor office. They will be able to help with that issue.
The advisor's office? Okay.
Yes.
So College of Information Advising.
Yes, and I just typed the answer.
Oh, you did? Okay, thank you. Thank you. It went away so quickly, I didn't see the answer. Okay, great. It may take a little time, for that also to change over. It's pretty recent. And then Kelly asks, how often, example, once a week, once a month, etc., will PhD classes meet in the traditional format, so the residential format?
Those are weekly for 16 weeks. Usually you don't have a class meeting during Thanksgiving. You don't have one the week before classes end. That's what we call reading week, which is preparation for final exams. So usually you will have at least 14 class meetings in the residential throughout the semester.
Okay. All right, and Kelly says, thank you. Just got about 9 minutes left in our time, so we still have time for more questions. Don't be shy. If you have questions, go ahead and get them out there. Well, I'll go ahead. Oh, looks like we just got another question. Oh, it's a thank you. I'll go ahead and start wrapping up a little bit here. And if you get a question in the last few minutes, we'll get to it. So as I said at the beginning, I'm going to forward all of you this PowerPoint because there are so many useful links in it. And I'm going to forward all of you the link for the video once I've downloaded the video, so you can rewatch this if there was something you wanted to hear again. And I'm also going to send you the 2 documents that that I have about the checklist for admissions and everything. So you'll have all the emails that you need to contact anyone. And we want to thank you so much for attending tonight. We hope we got your questions answered. And if we didn't, then just follow up with an email and we're happy to answer anything that you need. Oh, let's check here and see. I have some people in the box. Okay. Cassandra says if your reference comes into the department prior to you sending in materials, is that okay?
Yes, that's fine. We just keep them all collected. Caroline has a file for each student on OneDrive. We just store it all there, and she will keep a checklist there to make sure that each thing is done. And we will actually follow up with you to try to make sure that you can meet whatever deadlines are there. So we'll be there to support you however we can.
I remember my experience last year that I spoke with Caroline and Lily, and we did take some time to double check with the students and let them know what they were missing the a couple weeks before. Are you going to be able to get it in time? Or yeah, so there's a lot of flexibility. If you're a serious student and you want to be and you're a student who qualifies for the program, they want to work with you to help you get into it. And we all know that life happens. Okay, and then Shay says, thank you so much. This has been helpful. I'm glad it's been helpful, Shay. And yeah, I think that's it. So let me go ahead and remove these. And I just want to thank our panelists, Dr. Warren, Dr. Kaplan-Rakowski, Dr. Ahn, and Paola. You all were phenomenal and explained everything so well. I think the prospective students should feel ready to apply now, don't you think?
Absolutely.
All right, great. Okay, well, if there are no further questions, then we'll end for tonight, giving you back 6 minutes of your time. Oh, hold on, let me make sure. It's a thank you. Okay, yes, and we are looking forward to having you as part of the Mean Green family, Janae. All right, and like I said, just reach out if you need anything. Thank you all so much for coming, and we'll see you soon, I hope.